the impossible has happened yet again, really, as Futurama has been rebooted for like the 4th time, this time on Hulu. And how is it? A bit too soon to say, but it's doing far better than that abysmal Animaniacs reboot that was also on Hulu, so my fears may be put to bed. The first 2 episodes haven't been bad, and as you guys know, Futurama is my favorite adult-oriented TV show of all time. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and why am I talking about Futurama? Because there's one very noticeable change in Season 2, and of course, just like any good outlet should, they want to talk about, they being CBR that is, the diversity problem with Futurama and how it's so much better now, and yeah, it's just as dumb as you think. Let's get into it. Futurama recasts a longtime character. Here's why it makes sense. Futurama recasting the voice of Amy's father, Leo Wong, proves that Hulu's series is willing to evolve, not just on-screen, but off-screen as well. And here's the character they're referring to if you're not familiar. Leo Wong, who is, at the end of the day, a pretty minor character. I mean, he does show up and have, like, some sort of character-wise importance in various episodes and in some movies and whatnot, but at the end of the day, he is far down the list of main characters. Like Randy might be more of a main character than Leo Wong. Okay, probably not. But the point is his recasting a big deal? Yes and no. This is not just going to be me throwing a fit about, the wokeness. But at the end of the day, that is the reason it's being done. But the article really outlines it in a horrible way, especially if you are a longtime Futurama fan. Futurama being set in the distant future has never kept it from delving into modern issues. The show has commented on plenty of technological changes and social growth, highlighting the ways modern culture has shifted since its debut over 2 decades ago. But the second episode of its Hulu revival is more notable for a shift that happened behind the scenes. And to Futurama's credit, and what it has continued to do, at least in its modern revival, which is what I was incredibly worried about, was more or less stay politically neutral. Futurama, much like any TV show, The Simpsons, Family Guy, has always delved into politics and jokes when the time comes, but it's always made fun of both sides, and I was absolutely terrified that with this being Hulu and Hulu being owned by Disney, this was going to be an absolute left-wing fest, and so far the first 2 episodes haven't been. They've been completely neutral and just mostly funny episodes. I don't think they're quite as well written as the early days of Futurama, but even the Comedy Central stuff wasn't as well written as the early days of Futurama, so it may go on to have a lasting impact, it may not. However, the shit behind the camera they're talking about is obviously the voice acting change. Season 8's Children of a Lesser Bog, directed by Edmund Fong and written by Eric Horsted, is primarily a showcase for Kif Kroker, but also brings back Amy Wong's father Leo, an Asian Martian antagonist who's been voiced by Futurama series regular Billy West. Now, if you don't know who Billy West is, Billy West voices pretty much everyone on Futurama. Like, he's Fry, he's Zoidberg, he's the professor. If you don't know him from Futurama, he's the Red M&M, he's Doug from the TV show Doug. He's been the modern Bugs Bunny since like 1994. Billy West is one of the most incredible voice actors living to this day, and I've actually had the chance to meet him, and we had like a full-on hour conversation. The man is an absolute gem, and so short. He's just tiny and adorable. Point is, he is voicing everyone on the show, almost, not literally, but quite a bit, and he does an immaculate job with it. You would not listen to Zoidberg, Leo Wong, and Fry and think, wow, this is all one guy, just to show how talented he is. But, much like Hank Azaria, now that all of a sudden the character's being called into question with a different skin color, he can't voice that character anymore. Now, however, the character is played by Asian American actor Fedor Chin. It's part of an overall push towards greater diversity in voice acting, an example that the series is willing to continue to grow even after so many years. And this begs the question, why? Like, I get it. Okay, so you gotta have something like The Little Mermaid. You know, Disney remakes The Little Mermaid. Takes the white character, turns him black, which, it's a visual medium. The race swap annoyed a lot of people, your boy included, but if you didn't have a problem with the race issue, if you think that, hey, it's no big deal, the best actor for the job should do it, then let's use that argument. Let's say the best actor for the job should do it. The new voice for Leo isn't good. It's really not. It has none of the same gravitas or comedic timing as Billy West's character. Like, let's say they recast the character because, hey, we need an Asian character to play, or an Asian actor to play this Asian character. Whatever, I disagree with that. It's voice acting. It just matters is, can you act the part? But let's say they're going to do that. Then at least have the actor and the voice of the character sound the same. If you don't like that a white guy is doing the stereotypical, bad grammar, Asian voice or whatever, sure, fine, cast an Asian guy, but still keep the voice the same. But they don't do that. He just now sounds like any other generic white guy. Who is Leo Wong in Futurama? Leo Wong debuted in Futurama Season 1's A Flight to Remember, directed by Edmure Santos and written by Horsted, alongside his wife Inez. Amy's wealthy father is one of the show's richest characters, potentially rivaling the series' perpetual big bad mom, the descendant of Sir Reginald Wong, who convinced the native Martians to sell the planet in a sci-fi riff on European colonizers taking the land from Native Americans. Leo is more than happy to benefit from the corrupt system. Now, here's why Futurama is so smart. For again, if you guys are not familiar with the show, yes, he did actually benefit from that, but the show goes on to explain that these Martian colonizers, these Asians that colonized Mars and cheated the native Martians out of their land by offering them a single bead, well, that single bead turns out to be a giant diamond worth the price of an entire planet. So they actually didn't cheat the Martians out of anything. They did colonize the planet, yes, but they paid for it with a diamond worth the cost of the planet. So it wasn't exactly, European colonizers, or in this case, Asian colonizers taking the land from Native Americans. That's how Futurama at least used to be, and hopefully still continues to be, smart, by taking both sides and playing with the idea on equal political footing. He's bragged about having judges in his pocket, openly insults the native Martians, and is dismissive of any ecological concerns resulting from his business. Leo even served as one of the primary antagonists of Season 5's Into the Wild Green Yonder, directed by Peter Avanzino and written by Ken Keeler, harming the Martian environment. Well, he wasn't harming the Martian environment, he was harming, it doesn't matter. I was going to get real Futurama nerdy on you guys, but the point is, he's not harming the Martian environment, so they already don't have their facts straight here. They didn't have their facts straight about the taking land from Native Americans, so clearly we've got this writer up here, who is this Brandon Zachary, who doesn't understand the source material he's writing about. And I know, how much source material can you really have when talking about an adult-oriented TV show, but unlike Family Guy or The Simpsons, Futurama does have an overarching story, and that overarching story works very well. So yeah, I'd say you should probably know your lore if you're going to write about past events that do actually help shape the future of the show. His efforts to convert a percentage of the Milky Way galaxy into an oversized mini-golf course put him at odds with Leela, Amy, and Futurama's Doom activist Frida Waterfall, which is another hilarious thing that Futurama does. They have what's called the Waterfall family, which are just the hardcore leftiest hippies of hippies that are all about protecting us from climate change and being about ecology. And while they are incredibly preachy and annoying, some of the stuff they say does make sense. Obviously, you want to protect nature, you want to protect the wildlife, but Futurama does it in just the most absurd, annoying way, and then always kills those characters off. The Waterfall family is a large branching family, and all of them die. It's absolutely hilarious, but what they have to say, albeit in the most to the nth degree extreme way, still does have some sort of comedic kernel of truth in it, leading to Futurama being politically neutral. Leo's status as a mean-spirited and blunt cheapskate is the core element of the character, with his, albeit frustrated, love for his family being one of his few redeeming qualities. Both of these elements are present in Season 8's Children of a Lesser Bog, which sees the return of Kif and Amy's children from the bog where they were gestating in. When they see their grandchildren are more alien than human looking, Leo and Inez are quick to leave the planet, making it clear they'll be grandparents from afar. Why Leo Wong being recast is good for Futurama. Leo Wong was another example of characters of color being voiced by white performers, as if that's a problem. Once again, it doesn't seem to matter when it's the other way around. Phil Lamar, the voice of Hermes in Futurama, is also the voice of Samurai Jack. If you guys didn't know, Phil Lamar is a black dude. He's playing Samurai Jack, an Asian dude. Like, why does it only matter if it's a white performer? If you're gonna go with this narrative that, everyone has to voice act in accordance with their own race, that's bananas, because again, it is voice acting. You're just using your voice to play a character. John DiMaggio has played black dudes before. Samuel L. Jackson has voice acted for white characters before. Why is it only white characters or white actors cannot play any other race of characters, but the reverse isn't true? Are you good at your job? Are you good at creating this character, doing this voice, making it believable? And if so, awesome, you've got the job. It's not like your face is on camera. It's not as if you were a white dude playing an African king. Yeah, that'd be a little bit weird. Be like, whoa, I don't want Ryan Gosling playing, M'Baku or something like that. Like, hey, let's walk that back. But this is voice acting, and Billy West, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the best voice actors. It might be the single greatest living voice actor. I mean, when he passes, those are going to be some massive shoes to fill because there ain't another Billy West on this planet. Something that's become more scrutinized in recent years, Cleveland in Family Guy was recast along with Carl from The Simpsons and Missy in Big Mouth. Leo being voiced by Fedor Chin in Children of a Lesser Bog allows the character to match the rest of the Wong family, as Amy and Inez are both portrayed by Asian American performer Laura Tom. But here's the thing, they're fictional characters, they're cartoon characters. He and she look like they would give birth to her. Who cares what the voice is behind the camera? Like, I'm truly baffled. I shouldn't be. It's 2023. I'm not baffled, but I'm wondering how many people buy into this. Like, for all of you watching, I don't normally say to comment this early in the video, but yeah, comment. Do you guys care what the race of the person voicing a cartoon character is? If we want to get that absurd with it, oh man, no more talking cats in children's shows. They need to be voiced by real cats because it is a disservice, it is offensive to cats everywhere that we are having humans take their roles. It is speciesist. Like, we could go that absurd with it because that's how absurd it already is. Why does somebody's skin color matter when voicing a drawing? How do you not see that that's so dumb to care about? Little fanfare is made over the change, and while there is a noticeable difference in line delivery, yes, there is a very noticeable difference in line delivery, and that is actually why I have the biggest problem, because at the end of the day, while I do disagree with this woke nonsense of recasting over skin color, which is inherently racist in and of itself, if they're gonna do it, if they're gonna make that sign of call, alright, go for it. I'm not in charge of the show, I got no say in the matter. But the actor needs to do a good job, and unfortunately, at least with the little bit that we got in that one episode, he flat out did not. Chin's performance is funny while also feeling true to Leo's earlier portrayal. Flat out wrong. It is not funny, which sucks because I actually love Leo as a character, and if they were going to replace him with an Asian dude, I still want to love the character, but this is not Leo. At least this is not Leo's voice. The shift is also an understandable recasting, as West's version of Leo, while given a clear personality that became more singular and unique over time, was inherently rooted in a stereotypical delivery. Yes, and that's kind of the point. He, as an Asian man, took over a land of native Martians, which was supposed to be based on, like Native Americans. They were aliens that sounded just like the, Native American stereotype. And he goes on to say things like, I can tell they're Martian because they know have good grammar. And like, yes, that's kind of the point. Like we've all met Asian people that don't exactly speak perfect English. Don't mean we fucking hate them for it. It's fine. Like some people I know don't even speak proper English on account of them being white. Like, they're just uneducated and do not speak English very well. I jokingly speak poor English in these videos a lot of the time because it's just fun to do. So that being said, yes, it's a stereotypical delivery, but that doesn't make it an insensitive or bad joke, especially when that is not all that his character is about. His character is so much more than just his accent. As with any show that began over 20 years ago, some elements of Futurama's humor and presentation can feel dated, but Leo being recast suggests Futurama is willing to keep its characters while incorporating a more modern perspective on the voice acting and representation behind the scenes, because there's everyone's favorite word, representation. Why? Why does there have to be representation? This is a TV show set 3,000 years in the future about aliens and squids and humans and robots all coalescing into a society that gets along with one another. I don't give a damn about representation. Who is Zoidberg representation for? I mean, okay, we could probably say the Jews because that's kind of where his voice came from when we talk about Billy West, but I'm not out here about to talk about how, Zoidberg is Jewish representation. He's a giant space crab. Representation does not matter, or at least it does not matter in the context of if it is a comedy cartoon show that is so absurd and has no bearing on real life, then who are you trying to appeal to when it comes to representation? Your target audience is going to laugh at the show regardless of who is voicing these characters because they're not seeing the actors. They're just seeing these cartoon characters. If you told me, let's say I had no idea what Homer Simpson's voice actor looked like, and you told me that he was black, it would not affect how I view the show in the slightest because I'm not watching for the actor. I'm watching for, now don't get me wrong, voice acting is very important. It takes a whole lot of skill to be able to act out a character and using only your voice and hoping the animators are matching what you're saying. Like, I'm not knocking voice acting, but what I'm saying is there's no need to care about skin color when it comes to voice acting. There truly isn't. Americans voice anime characters all the time. Many of these anime characters are, as you would guess, Asian. how many white dudes be voicing the main characters? Actually, a lot of female, white women voicing the main characters in anime because they're young boys with little voices. Point is, the old redheaded woman that's voicing Naruto, she ain't Asian. It's a minor change as Leo only appears for a little bit of the episode, but proves how the series is constantly moving forward. No, I would not call this moving forward. I would call it no movement at all. It is just a lateral move to the side. They took one, in fact, it's a step backwards. Screw that. It's a step backwards. Caring about skin color like this is absolutely a step backwards when no one was throwing a fit about it before. And because the portrayal of the character, the actual job of the voice acting is done worse. I knew from the moment I heard the voice something was wrong. I mean, it did not sound like the original character, and as much as I love Billy West, Leo was one of the few voices I didn't know he did. So I knew the character had been recast, but I didn't know the reasoning. I had no idea that it had to do with this, racial aspect of it, which was, again, bananas. But the moment I saw the headline of this article, I just knew it was going to be, it's because the original actor wasn't Asian, was he? Again, not knowing that it was Billy West, and now they have an Asian guy voicing him, and the character sounds less Asian, which is less funny. It makes no sense how they thought this was a good idea, but I don't want to spend this whole time ragging on the new Futurama because I actually am enjoying it for the first 2 episodes that are out, and I hope it stays good. I desperately hope it stays good. I want to love this, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to give it a shot, but I thought, you know what? Futurama is my favorite adult-oriented cartoon. I'm going to give it a shot, and if this is the worst thing that happens in the show, a tertiary side character has been recast because of skin color, that is not the biggest deal at the end of the day, and I'm not even against hearing more of this actor doing the character more in later episodes and hopefully kind of getting into a groove that works. But for what we've seen in the 1 episode he's been in, it does not work. He is just not a good fit for this role. And the reasoning behind the change is absolutely stupid, and I hope you all agree with that. But even if you don't, you know where to find me, because I'd love to hear your opinions. Let me know in the comments down below, or let me know on Twitter, where you can find me at BoltTheWord. And please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I do nerdy news videos every day, now 2 videos a day, so the algorithm is killing me for that. Make sure you just please check out both of them, because, man, my views are really suffering for doing 2 videos a day. But other than that, it's all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.